You know, Snowden is not guilty of treason, in my view, and I think people throwing around the word treason in his direction have not read what the Constitution says about it. It's the only crime that's actually specified in the Constitution. What he's done doesn't meet that level. We'll get into that at some other time. And this is that time. Since I said that 2 weeks ago, there has been no slowdown in people accusing Edward Snowden of treason. It's one thing for people to do it on Twitter. It's quite something else for people who have taken an oath to, quote, support and defend the Constitution of the United States. The Speaker of the House, who actually administers that oath of office to House members, who makes them repeat after him that they will, quote, support and defend the Constitution of the United States, that Speaker of the House has called Ed Snowden a traitor. But he is the same intemperate speaker who said someone should go to jail for the way the IRS processes applications for tax-exempt status. He said that without knowing if anyone had actually committed a crime and without knowing the name of the crime he imagined someone might go to jail for. He is a man of such reckless use of language that the political media has grown so used to it that they ignore it. From the other end of the seniority ladder in the House of Representatives, there was this.
You said he committed treason?
That's correct. He made an oath when he got clearance to get some of the most sensitive information about how we go after suspected terrorists, we go after suspected criminals who wish to do our country harm, and he made an oath to this country. He wasn't just a random employee. And when you violate that oath to our country, you commit treason against this country.
Okay, first of all, Ed Snowden was a civilian employee of a private company, so he probably didn't take an oath to do the work he did for the NSA. We have not yet confirmed whether he took any kind of oath in relation to his NSA work, but even if he did take an oath, even if he was a sworn-in member of the House of Representatives and he violated that oath, that would not be treason. If Ed Snowden was a member of the House or Senate Intelligence Committee and he took that oath of office as a senator or a congressman, and then he stole classified information from the committee's files and distributed it the way he's been distributing classified information, that too would not be treason. Treason is a very, very difficult crime to commit, perhaps the most difficult crime to commit in America. And that is the way the Founding Fathers wanted it. The Founding Fathers wrote treason law directly into the Constitution so that it couldn't be changed. They specified that there must be 2 witnesses of your treasonable act. The Constitution specifies that confessing to treason is not enough to get you convicted of treason unless you confess under oath in open court. So you can confess on TV and you can confess to the FBI, but those confessions would mean absolutely nothing in your trial for treason. No such specifications are made for any other crime in this country. And here is what the Constitution says treason is. Treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them, or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. That sentence, as interpreted by the Supreme Court, means that it is impossible to commit treason unless the United States is in a declared war. Not the so-called war on terror, not the Cold War, not the Vietnam War, not the Korean War, because those were not wars declared by Congress. The last time the United States fought a war declared by Congress was World War II, and the last person charged with and convicted of treason was an American who helped the Japanese during World War II. When the Constitution refers to giving aid and comfort to our enemies, it means the enemy identified in a congressional declaration of war, like Japan and Germany in World War II. So no matter how hard you try tonight, you cannot commit treason against the United States of America, because we are not in a war declared by Congress against an enemy declared in a constitutional declaration of war. China is not our enemy. You might not like China. Russia is not our enemy. You might not like Russia, but Russia has never been our enemy, which is why not one of the Americans caught spying for the old Soviet Union was ever charged with treason. Many people believe that Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were executed for treason, but they were actually charged and convicted under the Espionage Act, the same law that the Justice Department is now using as the basis for 2 of 3 charges against Ed Snowden. And please note that none of the 3 charges against Ed Snowden is treason. Do you think the Justice Department would just decide to go easy on Snowden and not charge him with treason if they could? That very young congressman you just heard spouting off mindlessly about treason is sadly a very good representative in Congress for a country which is so ignorant of the Constitution, a country in which for many, if not most, feelings are more important than facts. For the Speaker of the House and the young congressman and half the people on Twitter, if it feels like treason, it must be treason. It would never occur to them to check what the Constitution says about treason, because they do not know that it is the Constitution and the Constitution alone that defines treason. So call Ed Snowden what you will. But if you call him a traitor, if you say he's guilty of treason, you aren't really labeling him. You're labeling yourself. You're letting us know that for you, facts don't matter. You're letting us know that you believe you get to define treason any way you want, even though the Founding Fathers defined it for you very clearly in the Constitution, a Constitution that you have not read and do not understand. You are labeling yourself as a perfectly acceptable member of the current Congress, where they all take an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, but none of them take an oath to read it.